The working groups of the US and Ukraine will continue to work on a plan to end the war. This was confirmed by Volodymyr Zelensky and Donald Trump following the meeting. Trump stated that the U.S. working group includes Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth, and others. Zelensky announced that the Ukrainian team continues its work. The team includes Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council Rustem Umerov, First Deputy Foreign Minister Serhiy Kislitsya, and Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine Andriy Hanatov. Let's listen to how much longer the negotiating groups may continue working to finalize the documents.
I hope that in January there will be decisions on all 6 documents I mentioned earlier. We will continue to work in this direction. They know what they need to do next.
These working groups will also work with Russia because there is no point in working alone. Maybe a few weeks, and if this issue continues for an extended period, then nothing will come of it. That's why I hope that in a few weeks we will already know what our situation is. Things could go badly, it's possible that we won't be able to agree on some point, and everything could fall apart because of it.
U.S. President Donald Trump stated that he is ready to come to Ukraine and address the parliament if it helps to reach a peace agreement. He announced this during a press conference with Volodymyr Zelensky. Let's listen.
I have nothing against it. You know, I don't mind. We are not planning this. We want to reach an agreement, and it's not necessarily required to go there. I offered to come and speak in their parliament if it would help. I don't know if it will help. I think it probably will help, but I don't even know if it... I'm not sure it's absolutely necessary, but if it helps save 25,000 lives a month, or however many it would be.
Ihor Chelenko, political scientist, Center Head for Analysis and Strategy, joins us live. Okay, I can't hear Ihor yet. Ihor, just to be sure, let's try that again now. Can you hear me?
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yes.
I can hear Ihor. Ihor, where else should someone go in Ukraine and speak before Parliament? For what purpose?
That's actually an interesting question, to be honest. Personally speaking, I had some thoughts that maybe perhaps passing it through the Verkhovna Rada.
Yes, the connection is lost again. The sound is gone.
1, 2.
Yes, we have it, but we actually didn't catch the last sentence.
I'm saying that maybe it's actually about those particular positions that, in fact, do not currently have the support of Ukrainian society today, and which the Ukrainian delegation, as well as President Zelensky personally, are not ready to accept at this time. Perhaps it's also about the issue of Donetsk region or something else. This is Trump's vision. For some reason, he thinks that this will somehow change the situation. With the red lines that exist as of today, as we currently see them. But I think that in reality, this is actually a mistaken impression. And for some reason, what immediately comes to mind is the speech by George H.W. Bush in the Verkhovna Rada, the Parliament of Ukraine, when he came to urge not to dissolve the Soviet Union and not to let Ukraine leave its composition. Here, it is still evident and clear that in this situation it is better to focus not on appeals in the Verkhovna Rada for something that supposedly could bring peace closer, but clearly on putting pressure on the specific Russian Federation. Because based on all of yesterday's communications with President Putin before the meeting with President Zelensky, it is absolutely clear to me without any doubt that Putin is the one escalating things. His demands the conditions for a direct ceasefire. And it is precisely from this that Trump's proposal may have arisen. Let me come and give some sort of speech before the Verkhovna Rada. This is not the path that will bring us closer to peace. Nevertheless, the whole issue is about further negotiations, but the focus of attention needs to shift toward putting pressure on Moscow.
But there is a nuance. During martial law, any changes to the constitution are prohibited. In other words, the deputies won't be able to vote on anything because martial law is in effect.
We need to understand here that what Putin wants, for example, regarding territorial issues, can only be decided by an all-Ukrainian referendum. Plus, we have Article 157, which directly prohibits making changes to the Constitution that would violate territorial integrity. That is, in any case, no matter how much Putin wants it, it won't be possible to do this by amending the Constitution. Not through the Verkhovna Rada either, nor through the Constitutional Court, nor through an all-Ukrainian referendum. So this is an absolutely ironclad red line. No matter how much the issue is raised, whether it's something the Ukrainian authorities don't like or some nuances, it's simply impossible to change. So it really just comes down to being absolutely ironclad.
Regarding Donbass, Trump said that Ukraine is losing it, and that's why it's better to agree to a deal now. So is it being said that he still continues to believe Putin about them still taking territory? Kupiansk?
Well, it's quite obvious that, unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to debunk, obviously, a large portion of those fakes and fabrications that Putin directly voiced. We saw this latest stream, lies. And it's not just about Kupiansk, but also about a number of other settlements and localities as well. By the way, both officially, our general staff and several independent sources have reported that all of this is completely untrue. Even Russian war correspondents have repeatedly stated this on their Telegram channels. But nevertheless, Putin conveyed this directly into Trump's ear. And when Trump even makes statements at a press conference saying, you see, Putin does not want to agree to a ceasefire during the organization of a referendum because after some time, hostilities would have to resume. And then Trump immediately says that Putin wants peace, but somehow it just does not add up, and the cause and effect relationship simply does not make sense at all. In this situation, it's clear that further productive and systematic communication with the head of the White House is needed, and with his inner circle, so that Putin, well, at least partially, would not be able to effectively carry out his information policy and exert his destructive influence on the American president.
Well, after that, meetings are supposed to take place in working groups, but we remember from Minsk that Russia, in this way, by breaking issues down, they simply drag out the process. Is it the same story here?
Yes, absolutely. We saw this during the Minsk process as well. We essentially saw this happen this year when in Istanbul the creation of 3 working groups was proposed, precisely with the aim of fragmenting the process. The same situation will obviously continue to unfold. The only thing that can really be noted as a positive, specifically in terms of communication with the Russian side, what we have seen is yet another announcement of a local ceasefire around the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. This is in order to carry out the necessary and direct repair work and to restore and re-establish the normal power supply through the transmission lines leading to the respective power plant. This is the only positive aspect of this whole story that has unfolded over the past few weeks.